speak. Yes, you probably already know that. And gosh, I think I'm yelling. I might be a little overexcited today. So you know me, I'm Pip. I run Seymour Digital Media over here on Vancouver Island. And you all know my cohort.
Hello, everyone. Right when I was going to take a sip of water. Hey, everyone. My name is Greg McKinnon, and as you all know, I run Original 72 Creative, and we're a full-service website graphic design and digital marketing company in Vancouver.
And together we run Cyberpunk Marketing Geek Mixer. Yeah, that's right. I said together. Greg is the other half of the goodness here, guys. So today we are talking about Data Studio versus analytics. Now, when we got into this talk, we discovered it's really not an either or, it's kind of a do it and. So we're going to get into what Data Studio is, why use this powerhouse free platform with your Google Analytics, the differences, the features and benefits. Yeah, Greg. So
Yes.
you use Data Studio a bit, don't you? You've played around in there.
I mean, I have it. I haven't used it a lot. I know I know why you should use it. It's a lot more flexible to, well, I mean, we'll get into it, but first and foremost, when I set people up with analytics, because it's mandatory for every site, um, I don't even charge for it. I just automatically do it. It's
Mm.
part of my web service. Um, you need
Good
you
web
need
guy.
you need the analytics, right? But I didn't know a lot about Data Studio until you started talking about it and raving about it and everything. And so I did start looking into it. I don't use it for myself or for any of my clients, but I at least know why it's there, what you can do with it, and hopefully we'll be able to relay a lot of that stuff to people today.
Right? If you're joining us, chime in because we can't see who you are and we really want to talk to you. Greg, my computer's doing the little wheelie thing. That's a little daunting right now. We'll see if it shuts down. Oh, no, everything's fine. um, yes, Data Studio. So, I'm in love with it. One of my issues was when I started my business, I, uh, I wanted a way to report on things, and I wasn't that familiar with Google Analytics. And so, as I got more familiar, it wasn't a good way. In Google Analytics, you have to learn how to make reports if you're going to send reports through Google Analytics, right? Or create a individual dashboard for your clients to look at what they want to look at. And so I struggled a little with that, to be honest. And then I am very proud to say that I was one of the many people that jumped on to Data Studio as soon as I found it. Before it was in beta, so it's out of beta now. Oh, Chelsea's here. Hey, Chelsea. Yay. We're talking Data Studio. But so that's why, I mean, it was for reporting. It's so easy. Honestly, it was 3 clicks of a button because in the back end, it adds. We'll get into that. So, first, Greg, Data Studio, what is it?
Data Studio is a suite. I guess I would call it a suite. I don't know if they technically call it a suite, but it is I would call it an aggregator for different analytics sources. So your Google Analytics you can pull into your Data Studio. You can get your analytics from Facebook. You can get your analytics from AdWords, and all of these different sources, and you can pull it all into Data Studio into one place where then you can create reports and that are meaningful to you, to siphon through everything that you see there and make good choices for all your marketing.
Right now, there's a thing. So as we get deeper in this, yeah, I would agree. That's a really good explanation of Data Studio. So it's kind of like it's a little bit of like maybe Lego for analytics. Like if analytics is the deep dive, I think Data Studio. So it's a reporting uh, software from Google. That's free. You can buy add-ons like everything else that costs more money. So we have paired it with something called Supermetrics, and we can actually bring in data from MailChimp, Search Console, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. We can pull all this information in now. So if you don't have the add-on, you can pull all of Google's assets in. So Google My Business, Search Console, and analytics. I don't know. Are there more? There's probably more.
AdWords,
AdWords. Oh yeah, thank you.
Google Ads. Yeah.
So we
Um,
prefer Google Ads.
yeah. And what's the uh, God, what's it called? I never use it.
Hmm.
It's when you're showing ads on your site.
Yeah, I
Uh,
don't know if it pulls it. I'm sure it does. That is
I think it brings that information. Brain fart. I don't know.
that's a great, you know what? I wonder how many people are putting ads on their site. That's a great question. If you guys put ads on your site, say yes. If you don't, say no. So did we answer what Google Data Studio is? It is like it's a reporting tool that's free, and it will help you break apart that information that becomes confusing, I think, on analytics. So we actually pair the two together because so one of the great things we could do is we can pull in information and see where you're getting your leads from. Are they coming from Yahoo or Bing or Google? And what are they doing? Are they clicking on the phone number? Are they filling out a form? So much interesting stuff you can do, and it's pretty, and you can color code it to your. So we will sometimes take the time and make it look like the owner of the business's colors, right? So it's their own personalized, and I love it. You can have these little, what do they call them? Phelan will know because I'm having a brain fart. Just these little tiny things that are like you had this many leads or this many conversions or this many clicks, and pairing all the data like from analytics and Search Console and Google Ads. Oh, it is beautiful. So what is the what? Okay, so why do we want to use both, Greg?
We want to use both because you can combine all of this stuff into one place and be able to look at it all at the same time, as opposed to having to go to multiple places to figure out how your social
Mm,
is doing, how your website's doing.
right.
Uh, you can. It's convenient to have everything all in one place. It's convenient to be able to customize it to create the reports that
You want.
with the data that you want to see
Yeah.
up front and center, as opposed to going in to just Google Analytics and having to drill down to the place where you get the information you're looking for. It's super customizable.
Super customizable. It's
Mhm.
really interesting. And the more you play with it, the more you get to know. And the greatest thing I think, or the greatest thing for me, is it was so easy to start because it's literally two clicks of a button. Like, and it pulls over your data from analytics and Search Console, and then you can play with it. And the greatest thing is you can find templates online that any template you find, you can copy it and pull in your own data. And then it fills it all. Oh, it's just so, I know, it's so beautiful. I'm a little geeky about this. Um, it was one of those things, when you're in business and you're struggling away and you're like, how can I do this better? And then a light goes off above your head and you start swimming through, I don't know, greatness. Great waters, warm, it's beautiful. That's what Data Studio is like when you get in there. So the reason to use these two together is because, so for us, let's say we do Google Ads and we've set up some goals on analytics. We pulled them through our Google Ads, and so on the report we're seeing you got 6 conversions, right? There's a little snapshot, 6 conversions. So we as the marketers want to know what those conversions were. So when we send our video report that we send to our clients, um, we want to be able to say, oh, you got a conversion, it was this keywords, right? It got you a phone call, the phone call lasted 45 seconds. So we have to go back into the platform. So I think Data Studio is really good for client facing.
Hmm.
And as the marketer, you're going between the two. But honestly, even though I grit my teeth at the end of the month sometimes and like, oh, I got to do this report, when you get in there, oh man, it's like heaven, right? Because you're here, you're understanding the business more. So it's this forced way to understand the business. And Data Studio, like all Google products, continually updates. So there's extra features and there's changes and those things. Like now you can actually have it automatically email your clients the report. Oh, it's so pretty. I mean, granted, we stopped that process because we want to have a little control over what we're seeing, so we're prepared if the sometimes things break, right? So the difference is, um, do we talked about why we want to use them together because they're beautiful and
Hmm.
because you, as you said, Greg, putting all that information into one place, like so that you're not having to go into Search Console, or you can find out what keywords you're showing up for your website. I think, yeah, it's a benefit to both. Now my question for you, Greg, at the end of this talk will be like, are you going to use it more?
Maybe.
Maybe. Okay, okay. What will convince you?
What will convince me is my customers wanting it more.
How will they know they want it if they
I
don't?
have a lack of, uh, need for my customers to see the analytics, and I push it all the time. I try to get them to look at it because they mean something. We can make decisions off of what we see. But the small business owners that I tend to work with, they're so consumed with all of their other day-to-day stuff that getting them to pay more attention to the analytics and what I'm doing for them sometimes is a difficult task. I mean, I can't force people to.
But what if you sent them a report where what they want to know is right up front, and so it's in their inbox. They're definitely going to open it, right?
Do
Right?
you open everything in your inbox?
Pretty much, yeah. Yeah.
Really?
A lot. I mean, but my inbox gets separated out between promotion and sales stuff. I mean, granted, I do not look in some folders.
It's not for lack of trying to get my customers to want to know and see how things are. It's just what I said. They're more consumed with their day-to-day running of their business that's not a high priority for them. So it just hasn't been a high priority for me to provide it any better because they don't even log into their Google Analytics. They wouldn't even log into their Google Analytics.
Well, Google Analytics can be really confusing. And I mean, there's so many bells and whistles, right? That why are they going to spend time on that when they finish their busy day? They still have accounting to do, and they got the kids running around in the background. So
Yeah,
it's hard. It's as for a marketer's life, I feel like people don't want to talk to us sometimes, and I really feel what we have to say is super important to a business.
it's true, and we can gauge, how a customer either is into what we're actually doing for them or not by how much they correspond with us and want to know what's going on. And I would prefer working with people who are actively, wanting to know the status of the things that we've got going on.
Yeah.
Um, they would be the more fun clients to work with.
Right? Because well, then you could get a lot more traction. Right.
Well, and a lot more business because you can show them this is working, this is not working. Let's ramp this up. Let's
Yeah.
scale back on this. I mean, it's more active. It's more work. It's more money.
Yeah, this is we. So, guys, we came up with a topic we were going to talk about, which is in the day of a life of a marketer, because I think we all struggle with different things in our businesses, and some of that has to do with how our clients are and how we can work towards solving those problems, right? But I digress. We're going to get back into it. Okay, differences um, between Data Studio and analytics. Analytics seems challenging for people. Greg, as you were saying, that people don't want to log into their analytics.
I find they're both just as challenging. They're if you don't understand the analytics,
Mm.
you won't understand what you're looking at. And the analytics in Google Analytics is the same analytics that you will pull into Data Studio.
Mhm.
It's understanding those analytics. Maybe Data Studio for you is a little bit easier to pick up because you didn't spend a lot of time in Google Analytics before picking up Data Studio, so you're more inclined to know what's happening in Data Studio because you're pulling everything in there.
Yeah.
I've been like ever since Google Analytics existed, I've been setting them up and going through them with customers. So I know
Yeah.
everything in Google Analytics. And Data Studio is one that confuses me a little bit more because it's just not there for me. I actually have to go in and set up the feeds and set up the reports and get it. I would prefer just to go to Google Analytics and just
You
drill down to where I need and see the information.
I promise you, you will love it because you have so much control over the different types of graphs and the colors, and you'll get sucked in. So we have Brittany Ellis is saying it's the go-between software for clients who are interested to see where their money is going and don't have the knowledge of Google Analytics. Yes. Wow. Okay. I like you, Brittany. That's on it. That is a perfect way to say it. And so, Greg, after this, we're going to get you in there so you can play around because I think you should. I think you'll love it. And then because I think because the types of graphs you can make, like, and because it's just clicks of a button to change from like a pie chart to a line graph or whatever, it makes your data more fun.
Hmm.
But I think it is a great way to. I think it's a great way to build up your marketing business because it keeps people informed, your clients, and then they might get excited. So I think one of the best parts of Data Studio is that if you go a hunting, you can find so many templates. Even if you type in Data Studio and you just go to their main page, they have all these things like you can literally copy paste and open up one for AdWords and it'll pull in all the data. Like honestly, 3 clicks of a button, my friends. So I guess that's a really important point you made though, Greg, about where we start. And so you're more apprehensive about Data Studio because you have so much knowledge in analytics, and it's your easier platform. So why would you switch?
Not apprehensive, just at the current state of the people I work with, I there's no need to
Mm,
go into Data Studio and pull it all in and set it and get it all set up because none of them at this point are like they don't care. They don't want to see it. They
mm,
want to know there's analytics being tracked because one day 3 years from now maybe they'll be like, hey, we should look at the analytics.
right?
So it'll be there, but until there's a point from one of my customers who is actively like, I want to see all of this stuff. I mean, then I might get into Data Studio and be like, okay, let's pull in all your information and set up reports so that that client can see what they want. But at this point,
Mm,
none of them want that. So and if they ever have questions or want to see stuff, we just go into their Google Analytics and I explain it to them and show them
yeah.
whatever it is that they want to see.
Okay. That's interesting. I still, it's just fun. It becomes fun, and because you like graphics, you could really play in there. So I want to know what Brittany, uh, do you send analytics reports to your clients? Do you use it all the time? Tell me more, my friend. Tell me more. Greg. So although I'm trying to convince you, because I think it'll improve your
You
business.
don't have to convince me. I'd use it if I needed to use it for any of my customers.
Well, you should use it for yours.
I'm not going to go in there and waste my time when
Mm,
none of my customers are interested in any of this data anyways.
yeah.
I'd just be wasting my time setting things up and poking around in there, and I have other things I need to do.
Right, right. So this is, I guess, where I get deep. So this is where we differ because you build websites where that's not my favorite thing to do,
See,
And
I'm spread out over a lot more than just, search and social. I'm actively designing and building sites and doing graphic design. So my services are spread out over my client base quite a bit, right? So I don't have dedicated time, or I am not dedicated 8 hours a day to, marketing and then seeing the analytics.
mm, right, yeah, where we're our business is that at the end of every month we're going in there and reporting, and one of the ways we report is send a video report. So we have to understand what's going on. And I mean, the reason we did that in our business was to educate people because of what we're seeing. We want to be able to report on it and have them understand. Because I don't know how many people, as you said, your clients, a lot of the time they'll get a report and they don't want to open it because it's confusing, and, you know, it's hard to understand when they use terms like users and sessions and new users. And what's it? Is that a new user all time, or is that so? Okay, yeah, it gets a lot. So, but there are so many features and benefits of using your data, right? So,
Oh, absolutely.
one of give me a benefit, Greg. Give me a benefit to looking at your data.
Well, you're going to be able to determine, going through the data, what in your marketing or on your website is working for you and what is not.
Yeah. Now, yeah, it's true. And I mean, I will tell you that my website is not converting like it should. That's for sure. And one of my problems is that I am not using the right language in the right way to speak to. My language can be confusing because we're, talking about conversions and things. Um, oh, so I think it's Brittany. Brittany's got a comment. Yeah, she does. Brittany, I love that you're here. Brittany is saying, more of a customer here, learning about analytics myself, and I work for a company and receive Google supports. Ah, um, I like that. Okay, that makes sense. So, are you receiving data studio reports or analytics reports? Tell me more.
It looks like they're getting Google Analytics reports, and that the reports, because it's Google Analytics and you don't have the flexibility of creating the type of reports that you want for your customer, she finds there's more questions
Mm,
from the customer when they look at these reports.
yeah.
She's spending time having to go through it with them. And I do think, from what I know about Data Studio, is that because you can customize the reports and put your own information into the reports, those things can be explained back to the customer,
Yeah.
what exactly they're seeing in this report. So that would be a huge reason why you would want to use Data Studio and create the specific reports that you want to send the customer, with explanations on, this is what this is what that is, and
I,
it's easier for the customer to process what they're looking at.
I think they added a thing in Data Studio where you can include a video. So you could take a video, put it up on YouTube, because of course that's the type they accept, and then you can play it inside the report. I haven't done that because we actually send a video and go through the report. The other cool things is that it's interactive. You can change dates. When you hover over things, like say a pie graph, it'll pop out the information, right? So it'll be like, you had 47 users this time, right? So it's so fun. And I think we need to make data more fun, right? And so I think this is, it's kind of like money education. I don't think we do a good enough job educating people about money. And just like, if you're a business owner, I don't think, I think because we're all so consumed with running our business that we don't take time for this kind of stuff, and analytics is confusing. And so I am a really huge fan.
So this is something you could answer, because I'm not aware, because I don't use Data Studio. I've poked around in there, and created a couple of reports, but I've been looking at everything online. Are the reports that you create and send to your customer PDF reports, or are they reports that they click and go into Data Studio and see online?
Good question. You can do both. So you can create a PDF and send it to them. The report they get on their inbox is like a kind of picture of it, but then you click on it and it takes them right over into the report. And so, yeah, where they,
Yeah, I just thought of that because when you said the reports can be interactive, I figured, well, they have to be online then.
yeah,
They can't just be a PDF that get sent monthly with their monthly stats
yeah. Well,
for
it is.
that.
So it's an email because it's integrated with Google, right? So it's an email and it looks like a PDF, but then you click on it and you go over to Data Studio, which is, originally they were putting the Data Studios in the Google Drive. So, which was really unique. They've changed that. So I don't know where they go, but if you haven't signed up for Data Studio and you want to give it a try, all you got to do is type into Google Data Studio and you'll get to
And clients don't need a Data Studio account. They just get these emails and they're able to click these links and see the reports that you're creating from your Data Studio account.
right? And I think as a marketer, it gives us some legs on educating people, right? Which is the hardest part, especially in such a fast moving industry.
Hmm.
And like if you sell SEO, and you hear the why am I not showing up for this, um, it's a good way to kind of prove what you're doing. Hold on one sec. Excuse me.
Excuse
Um,
you.
right? So Greg, we are slowly running out of time. You got any last points for Data Studio?
Not a point, maybe a question you can answer,
Okay.
so that people maybe know a little bit more. Is there any ability in Data Studio to be able to customize your analytics? Can you like in Google Analytics you can set up goals, things like that.
Yeah.
In Data Studio, can you actually set things up that your analytics will do for you?
Yeah.
Do
So
you have to always go back to Google Analytics to
you can,
create?
and here's where I'm going to be really honest. This is where you dive a little deeper in, right? So it's because, as I said, it's two clicks of a button, right?
Hmm.
So what you're going to do is you'll have, say, you find a template you want to use, you'll click copy, you'll click data source, and it'll be like, here's your options, and then you click button C, or and it pulls it all in as you get to know Data Studio. So this is where I'm maybe beginner to intermediate versus advanced. Um, you can pull in things. There's a lot of button pushing and trying things and slightly breaking things and being like, oh, right. But it's yeah, it's so yes, you can. Do I know the complete ins and outs of it all? No. Would I like to be able to bring in like, so right now I'm bringing in the goals or the conversions, and I can tell you got three conversions and then you got four phone calls. The conversions were actually forms filled out. A lot
Hmm.
of the time, because we have so many goals set up in analytics, I do have to report what was accomplished. So I haven't learned yet to separate out all the goals. Although, actually, I think there was a section in analytics that we pull in that says source, medium, and what the goal completion was. So, yes, you can customize pretty much everything. Uh, and it's open source. And what that means, Greg, tell them what that means.
Well, open source is software that's developed openly and anyone can use it or contribute to it.
So people are making things like I've seen some cool things like a little like thermometer type thing that you can put it. That's one thing I really like. You can put so we put our logo in the bottom corner. We put our website. We put the client's logo. We pick the client's colors.
Hmm.
It's a really fun platform to get to know, and I think a game changer for a business if you're a marketer, right? Uh,
Yeah.
but that's because I needed a solution to prove my worth, and that's it, Greg. That's all we got time for.
Well, you're making me really want to talk to all of my customers and say, listen, you have to look at analytics.
What I think you should do personally is I think you should create one for yourself and pull in your, Google Analytics and your data studio and just try it, see how it makes you feel. and then go from there, because I swear, even if you convert and you stop taking them into analytics, you stop sending them those reports and you start sending them this report, they'll become more engaged. I'm willing to take bets on that.
All right.
Right? Okay, guys, I think Greg's on board a little bit more now. Are you? And if you found this talk great, give us some love because, well, we need it. Greg, what are we talking about next week?
We're talking about website hosting.
Mm, that,
Uh,
I'm going to like that because I have questions. So you're going to be the expert there.
I feel like hosting is a topic that, I mean, we've talked about hosting before, how to choose a host and stuff like that. But I still find a lot of people don't understand what hosting is, what they should be looking for. You know, they just know that a website needs a host,
Mm-hmm.
but as far as what that host needs to have for them or need what they require of a hosting company,
I'm so excited to
I
talk to
don't think people really understand
I think the
that.
craziest thing I learned was that HostGator and Bluehost are owned by the same company. Anyways, we're going to talk more about that next week. Guys, we love that you're here. Thank you so much. Chime in with your opinions, wants, needs, and anything related to reporting. And oh, we got some love, Greg. We got some love.
That was me.
Oh, damn. Damn. Okay, self love. It was all self love. Okay, so we will see you guys back here next Thursday. We hope you join us, and over and out. Make good choices.
Bye, everyone. That was mine.
Right? Don't get captured.
Don't get captured.
Right? Okay, bye, guys. Bye.
Yep.